Hello, welcome back. This is episode 7. Is it episode 7? Yes, this is episode 7 of Wherever I Go. Welcome back. It's been quite a while. I almost reached my goal of posting 3 episodes by the end of last year. I made it to 2, and then the holidays came along and I was very busy. So sorry about that, but it is January 15th, so still the beginning of the year. I didn't completely blow it off, at least. I think my new goal going forward is going to be 1 episode a month because I failed to take into account that school is going to be taking up a lot of my brain power for this semester because I'm really just trying to hunker down and get everything done and not lose motivation throughout the semester because normally I start off very strong and then it just dwindles as I move along and I start cheating on assignments and I start just looking up the answers instead of actually learning. So we're going to try and avoid that, hopefully. So that is my main focus as of right now, but I still want to be able to do this and just record how I don't know, record the things I'm learning. So I just started classes, and one of my goals that is always one of my goals when I start classes is to talk to people and make new friends. So I'm taking more in person classes this semester than I was last semester, which is really good and provides me with more opportunities to do so. But it's still so hard for me. I don't understand why. I mean, the initial conversation is fine. Like, I'm perfectly good with going up to people and like saying hi and introducing myself and being like, oh, what's your major? Like, blah, 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 all that. But then once they stop like talking, it's hard for me to keep it going. Like, if we're asking each other questions back and forth, that's great. But if it ends up being just me talking, I feel like, oh, this person doesn't even want to talk to me. So I should probably just stop talking to them. And it's like, okay, the opportunity for a friendship is not there anymore. So yeah, I need to work on that going forward. I'm really trying to be more involved in school because I'm in a STEM field and that is very difficult. STEM is definitely challenging, and I really want to find like a group, some type of study group, or some type of like, I don't know, little community science related that I can learn from. I want to be able to like explain what I'm learning to my boyfriend, which would help, or even just like the cats. Like I saw this thing where a study method is to explain, like try and teach what you're learning to someone else, and I think that would really, really help me. So, yes, those are just things that go along with my goals with school. I want to get my GPA up because last semester is fine, but I got into the mindset where I'm like, whatever, I just want to pass the classes and get my degree. I don't care about doing well. But I do care about doing well. It just requires a lot of effort from my point because it kind of does take me longer to learn things. But then once I learn it, it's a solid knowledge of it for sure. If you're watching on the YouTube, my cats are getting into it currently. So, yes, school is really my main focus. That's part of the reason why I'm going to try and just do this once a month thing, and I think it would be really cool if I had 12 episodes by the end of the year, one for each month. So that's the new goal, everyone. I know it's like if you wanted more episodes, I don't know, there's not many people on here yet, but it's just a little hard for me. And if I get going more, gain some traction, then I will add in some bonus episodes, maybe bump it up to 2 episodes a month or whatever. We're just going to play it by ear. I don't want to set a deadline to myself because I feel like the type of thing I'm doing, um it's not very structured, and the things that I'm talking about are points that come to me throughout my life, And in order to have points come to me, I need to live my life and not just think about like, oh, what am I supposed to talk about on the podcast? Like, oh my goodness, my cats are going insane. So I just want to try and take the pressure off myself because I don't want to add another thing. I want this to be something I look forward to, and whenever I'm in the mood, I can just sit down and be like, "Oh, yay, I finally have stuff to talk about." So I'm going to shoot for once a month. If life gets the best of me, I'm so sorry. Another thing, for over the summer, I want to do some type of internship, study abroad, low key out of the question right now because I'm subleasing an apartment for 3 months and I don't see the point of subleasing that apartment and then leaving for half the time. Like, I'm still paying money to rent the apartment. I might as well just live with my parents. I don't know. Things could change, but I'm going to look into some type of research or ecological or like environmental internship, something in biotechnology or something in ecology. We're going to see. I was planning on getting a new mic, as I've talked about a lot. Still in the works, though. Again, we're going to see. I'm not going to prioritize it because it's a lot of money, and it's like, this works for now. So, anyways, that's kind of a little update over what happened these past couple months. Today, I wanted to talk about the importance of creativity and conversation. This was a topic that came to me when I was in the gym on the treadmill. I normally just, sometimes a thought just sparks and I have stuff to write down. So I pull out my notes app and start writing stuff down. Me and my boyfriend have both been getting into art more recently. And this is a hobby that I've had for my whole life, doing art related things. Both my parents are artists in some form, so I was raised with lots of creativity and freedom to be creative and create things. How many times can I say the word create, produce things, try new things? So, yeah, being creative is something that I have always identified with, but I feel like recently I've kind of lost touch with it just because I've let other things in life get in the way. I don't know. For me, anything personal is very sacred. Like, if I'm reading a book, it has to be like in a specific way. I want to set the scene and have my little candle going and make it into a little ritual. When I drink my mushroom coffee in the morning, same thing. When I do art, same thing. I try to wait for like the right feeling of inspiration to come. And I have lacked that feeling of inspiration for quite a while at this point, which is sad, but it makes sense. It makes sense because I have just grown up a little and other things get in the way, but it's very important to reconnect with those things you did when you were younger. Which also, science happens to be another one of those things for me. I used to like collect bugs and like make little things out of leaves. Doesn't seem like science, but at a young kid level, I relate it to science for some reason. Anyways, what was I just saying? My cats are now fully fighting next to me. So I hope you're enjoying this visual if you're watching. Let me pull up my notes because, again, I wrote lots of notes on this. The problem with having this feeling of the situation has to be perfect in order for me to do something is definitely something I would like to work past. It is a quality that I appreciate because it does help me out quite a lot. But in terms of art, I think I just need to push myself to make things, even if it's not exactly the right time or I'm not feeling particularly inspired. I just want to get used to finishing stuff so I can get a sense of accomplishment, honestly. Because let's see, like in my notes here, I say I feel like I have to justify anything I do with a positive outcome, like wanting to do something that would make me a lot of money or doing stuff for the appeal of others. This is a egotistical aspect of myself, I guess. But I mean, everyone has the thought of like, how will I be viewed if I do this? Like, a lot of people do not create art. They were not raised how I was raised in the creative fashion, I guess. And they have just never like drawn, and they have never sat down and tried to create something, which is weird to me because in middle school I literally used to just sit in my room and watch Friends in The Office and like make little drawings, not even drawings, just like sketches. They were not good, but like I can't imagine not having that in my life. So anyways, the main point of what I'm trying to say is I don't want to feel like any action I'm doing, not just creative stuff, in life is for someone else or it needs to be justified by something positive. Like, I don't want to do something solely for the money. I want to do it because I like it and then get money on the side. Like, career, for example, I don't just want to really like force myself to do it because it's good money. I want to actually enjoy it because otherwise I feel like I'm just going to be miserable. And taking it back to art, I don't want to make things, even this podcast, I don't want to make it with the idea of, oh, I'm going to blow up, or like, I don't like, if I was trying to do that, I would follow like the thirst trap thing and be crazy and like, do post 50 times a day. Like, I'm not doing that. I really don't want to have ulterior motives. I just want to do things for me that make me happy. And I think everyone should incorporate that feeling into their hobbies. Am I making sense? Am I rambling? Cannot tell. I do think that everyone is meant to be creative in some type of way, whether it be physical art or just coming up with creative ideas, creative ways to dress, any aspect of design, any aspect in how you present yourself. I think everyone is very capable of this, and a lot of people cannot access that part of their brain, and they would just prefer to follow the steps to an okay life. And I think if we all access our creativity a little bit more, that our lives can be more than okay and they can be fulfilling and wonderful. I think it's very important to get out there and try things. Like, a lot of people my age seem to just be okay with not doing anything throughout the day. Like, wake up, go to class, come home, and like just scroll on TikTok, have food, scroll on TikTok, eat dinner, do your laundry, scroll on TikTok some more. And I do not think that that is a great thing. I mean, we all know it's not a great thing, and we all make jokes about, like, oh, I'm addicted to TikTok, or like, I'm so lazy. Like, oh, yeah, I don't do anything. I have no hobbies. But I don't know. It's so normalized, but it almost feels like people are bragging about the fact that they don't have anything to do, or they don't have any passions, and they don't have any aspirations for life. And that's kind of just like the mindset that college students are in, which does make sense to a certain extent because we are very young and we're figuring out ourselves. But it seems to me like this is the time I feel the most pressure to try as much as I can, because how else am I going to find exactly what I want to do and find something that brings me joy and fulfillment if I'm just scrolling on TikTok the whole day and not activating my brain and trying to like make things? Like, I don't know. The creative aspect is personal to me. It There might be something else that you have that you're connected with, like, oh, like I've always been really sporty and I stopped doing sports in high school and I miss that a lot. So if that's the case for you, then go out there and do a sport, or maybe it was like an instrument. But yeah, don't just stop your hobbies because you're getting older, and don't be scared to try new hobbies no matter how old you are, because it really like just having a schedule, not even a schedule, but just having things that you have to do lined up or activities to look forward to is really nice. Whenever I like over winter break, I kind of got into a little bit of a slump because I wasn't in school, and on the days that I didn't have work, I just found that I had pretty much absolutely nothing to do. So that's kind of when I started getting into this more creative headspace and trying to find activities for myself other than just watching YouTube or being on my phone. But yeah, back to the idea or the perception that some people have that doing things is like, oh, like I'm like, if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I watch TikTok all the time, I am not a creative person, that's not something you identify with at all. And you're like, oh, I could never draw. Like, what's the point? I think everyone should give it a try or at least do something. Again, it's not stupid to try things and to create things and to have like random ideas and then bring them into fruition. That's actually something that is very cool and a lot of people cannot do. So, if you have a fear of like, oh, I'm not good enough at art, I like, oh, I wish I could design my room cool, but I just suck at art. It's like, no, you can do it. Everything takes practice, but don't be scared to try. Don't be scared to branch out from the things change up your style a little bit. Who knows? Could be a good thing. I have just been trying to fill up my days with more things. Like, I've been trying to not nap. I was really good about it earlier, but today I sadly did nap, which I am kind of disappointed in. But all my classes start at 8 or 9 a.m., so I've been up at 6 a.m., which makes me very tired. I have it written down that exerting all that energy will benefit you in the long run. Like, when I'm sitting there and I'm like, ugh, it would be fun to draw. I wish I had like the motivation to draw, but it's just so much work. Like, I just want to relax. I don't want to force myself to do anything. I think trying to force yourself to do it at the beginning will actually benefit you because it gets your brain more into the work mode and less of like, I can just blow it off. I don't have to do anything. And that in turn makes you more disciplined to other things such as school because you can just snap into it and be like, okay, time to turn on the work brain and we can get shit done. And also filling up your day with stuff I have found has made me more tired and like I'm able to fall asleep earlier, wake up earlier, get an earlier start to my day, and then I just feel better overall. Another point again I wrote is I spend too much time contemplating if I should actually start a project rather than starting it. Again, maybe I'll have an idea or see something I want to recreate on Pinterest, and it just seems like so much effort. And it is a lot of effort, but it's really like a form of like self help in a way, like therapy to sit down and create something because you can really, it's kind of just like taking your mind and making it a physical object. And the more objects you can acquire, the more you know what's actually happening in your brain. And you know, like, if I was an object, this is what it would probably look like. And that is such a cool thing to me because I am very in my head and I get very, like, tripped out on the fact that everyone is conscious and I'm being perceived by everyone in a different way. And that tricks me into thinking that I don't know myself. So when I have physical evidence of the beautiful things that I can create from my mind, it helps my self confidence, weirdly enough. it helps my individuality like be more prevalent, because sometimes I like when I'm walking to class, I'm like, there are so many people who look very similar to me, or like, I don't know, like there's just so many 20-year-old girls with blonde hair. There's a million. Like, why am I different? I feel like I blend into the crowd so much, which sometimes being around that many people, I feel like my individuality gets taken away, and I do not like that because I want to be an individual. I do not want to necessarily blend in exactly with the crowd. So, creating art proves to me that I am my own person, because if you give the same prompt to 20 people, not one of those things is going to be exactly the same. There's going to be some difference, and that shows that we all have a slightly different way of thinking, which again is such a wonderful thing. It's a way to connect with yourself, and it's a way to learn more about other people. Like, again, with the prompt, if you give someone the same prompt as you and they come up with something you would have never thought of, then it kind of opens up your mind to different ways of looking at life. I know we can go pretty deep with this because it's like everyone sees life slightly differently. Even though we're all human, we're all technically, like scientifically, pretty much the same, give or take. Considering all the things in the universe, we're pretty much the same as the person next to you. Even if you are like different height, like different race, different gender, it all kind of lines up. But anyways, it's basically just inspiring and really cool to see things in a different way that I would think of it initially. And it gives you the opportunity to again access your brain power and think about it and analyze it in a way that you can learn more about humanity as a whole. If it really comes down to it, I don't know. Kind of crazy thoughts, kind of in depth thoughts that I can't really explain right now. I just think it makes you smarter when you push yourself to do art, because to access something that you've never seen before and make it appear is kind of insane. But also, like, even just copying stuff and like doing your own twist on it is really cool. I think it activates your brain, as I've said this entire time. So yeah, I'm really trying to like draw more. I have a new sketchbook I started. I've had a sketchbook going for like, again, pretty much my whole life. There's always something I'm doing, but I've never been very intentional with it. Like, I kind of just do it whenever, and I think it's a good practice um to kind of force myself to do it a little bit more. Okay, I wrote this down in a little bit of a different way than I just went into my random tangent about. I said everyone views things in different ways that you can't even imagine, which I did say. And I said it's important to explore these other ways of viewing and thinking, and it's interesting. Okay, I need to go back to what I was trying to say and try and explain it better. So basically, what I'm trying to say is the fact that everyone can produce different things is exactly what humans are for. We're supposed to share our ideas, and we're supposed to produce things and then share it and communicate with each other why it works, why we would have thought of that, why we like it, why we don't like it. And oh no, my camera and my computer and everything just shut off and disconnected for some reason towards the end of that clip, just as I was getting to what I was trying to say. Just as I was trying to start to make sense. Anyways, I'm not gonna lie to you right now. It is February 6th, obviously, because I haven't posted this episode yet. Um, I've had some technical difficulties. If you are watching the video, it cut off a couple times and cut out and just turned to black, and it was just the audio. So I'm not sure why that's happening. But yes, I am overwhelmed with school at the moment. So I'm still gonna get this episode out because I don't want to just let it sit there and fall into the abyss. So I'm gonna just get it out. I know it's messy, but it's fine. I don't care. I just want to post something because last time I was like, oh, I'll be posting, and then I disappeared for 3 months. And even though it's not about how many people are viewing, it's more about a thing to myself if I can keep it going. So, yes, I hope you got a sliver of something from that little episode. I hope to see you guys soon. I do have another idea that I hope to record whenever I get some time. I've just studied for hours and I decided to do this really fast. But yeah, sorry about the sloppy delivery, but it's okay. I'm still going to post it because again, I'm recording my progress. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it and I hope to be back as soon as I can. Bye.